Okay, this is going to be a repair and clean of this HP Pavilion dv4. This HP I received from my dad's coworker, who I am sad to say this is completely computer illiterate. The hard drive in it, it's from 2015, it was already failing. But the main reason in this video here, I'm going to do a full review here in a minute, but hear that? Something broken inside. And what I can tell is when I close the computer, the right side is jutting up. You can feel it when you push it down that there's a bit of a gap. It's supposed to be flush. Other than that, the computer works fine. It's got a 3rd gen Core i5. Anyway, that's not the point. Let's get down to business. Oh, where's my screw mat? Over there. Hold on. I'm never ready when I make these videos. Never. I had two toolkits on me just in case I need a part from one or the other. I have spares. So I stick that over there. First things first is obviously take the battery out. Oh, I have a mat too. I can protect the plastic. This comes in handy. Just to pull your battery out. So you just remove your panel door. Let's see here. So I need to be able to get to the hinge. So let me see. Of course, my screwdrivers are all kind of mixed. They should have worked interchangeably though. What's this guy? Yeah, they'll work interchangeably. Pull the here for our networking door. We have our hard drive held down by 2 screws. Usually how I get this to work is I just take everything out. Oh, this is not magnetic. Oh, that's gonna suck. You know? Well, it's a cheaper screwdriver. What do you expect? I'm missing my main screwdriver. I don't know where I put it, so I'm just kind of using this other one I found. I misplace stuff all the time. It's pretty common. I'm not shocked. Let's see, where did I put it anyways? Over here? Mac cover for my iMac. Oh, it's over here. Is it under this? No. It's over here. Of course, this is how I make my videos, is I waste time trying to find crap. That's how it goes in my family. At least for me. Ooh, my back. That hurt. Yeah, I have no idea about screwdrivers. Oh well. Where did I put it? I had it like. Yeah, I'll find it later. That's how I work. If I can't find it, then oh well, find it some other day. However, I can still use this as a lever. That's right, I can pull the drive out. Oh, you... Come on. Disconnect your hard drive. I'm not a fan of these types of connectors. I have a feeling these will wear out very quickly if you do hard drive swaps a lot, which I do. I often switch the drives over because I need quick drives, or I need... You also have to use leverage to pull this out. Don't try to pull it by this rubber, because the age of this machine by now, this rubber is not a good idea. Oh, I forgot to deroute the... Oh, I already unrouted. So there's our hard drive. I have a Fujitsu in here. The original 750 gig drive has reported a smart status of failing, imminent failure, so I decided not to use that drive. So I'm going to pull out my optical drive. Okay, having a not magnetic screwdriver is actually really annoying. Where did I put the damn thing? I had it, like, where did I put it in my desk? No. Nope. No. Oh, for God's sakes. Where did I put it? Is it here? Is it under this? No, it's my phone case. No. No. I'll find it some other day, apparently. Oh, son of a bitch. Really, I do this all the time. This is not... Oh, maybe it's right here. Found it underneath the bin. Okay, found the correct screwdriver. It was under a bin. I tell ya, I just put things down sometimes, and then I'm lazy and I don't put things away. I know, I'm 20 and I'm lazy. It's a bit of a problem. So that's the optical drive. I try to stay off camera as much as possible, unless I want to be on camera. Pull the optical drive out. I'm gonna have to. I don't think you can see from this angle. Let me find my sticky notes. I stuck them in here somewhere. I tell you, I'm never prepared for videos. There's notes. I have to do that every time. It's still a genuine product key. I can't reuse it because of HP's reactivation licensing or whatever, but I'd still like to keep it anyway. What's it? This optical drive will fight you. Come on, there it goes. We've got, for an optical drive here, we have an HP something. It's from April of 2012. So that gives you a basis of when this laptop was made. Now, I don't have a disassembly guide, so taking this apart is going to be a little bit of a... You can hear the hinge. Oof. I have a feeling there might be screws underneath these feet, which I really don't want to deal with. So, when you don't know where screws are, you just start pulling them out. That's what I've learned, is just take out every screw you see until there are none left. That's what I've learned. Learned. I'm not very good at making YouTube videos sometimes. So anyway, let's see, any screws fitting in there? No. So we've got screw here, here, two in the optical drive bay. I don't think the networking card matters. We have 3 in the battery bay and 1 up here. And another one right there for the keyboard. So I'm going to take out the ones labeled for keyboard first. Did not feel good. That felt like it was stuck. It's got lock grip on it, so that's good. What screw was that for again? Oh, that was for the optical drive. I tell you, I just can't remember anything. If I'm correct, I think there's 3 screws for the keyboard. I think. HP only holds them down with 2 usually. They're different lengths? No. Let me see. Is there any others for the keyboard? Usually they're labeled 2x3, 2x3. Not keyboard, that's for the optical drive. That one's for the keyboard. I don't know what that one's for. So let me see if I can't pry the keyboard up now. Oh no, it's one of these types of sunken keyboards. Oh great. Just means it's going to be very hard to get out. It's a good thing I got nails. So their Draco's got some nails here. That's how I usually pull them out. Before I start using tools, I try to use my nails before. Okay, there's a screw over here that I'm forgetting. I'm assuming... No, that doesn't line up with the keyboard. Yeah, I can hear the screw in the hinge. Pulled that screw out. There shouldn't be another one holding down the keyboard. Unless I have to do something with the latch. Take that one out. Let's keep trying it with my nails. It should just pop right out. Or I can break my nail. It's not broken, it's fine. I'll be careful with this keyboard because I actually kind of like it. It's got nice keys. This keyboard was popped up when I received it, and I did just kind of push it back in place to get it back into position. Okay, there's a screw over here that's... Oh, there it goes. So these just kind of... Let's see, there's a ribbon cable holding it down. There's our ribbon. It's on the bottom, so I can pull straight up. Yep, held down just like anything. I will warn you, anything you do will end up inside your laptop if it falls in the keyboard. You would think that it would just land on the keyboard, but it doesn't. It literally will go right through. Do they have to design these in a way so you can't remove the keyboard? Oh, this is a lot of screws. Open up the flip for the keyboard ribbon. And pop our lovely, lovely keyboard out. This is a very nice keyboard. I'm just going to stick it right over here. Okay, so now we have access to, I don't know what this is. I presume this goes to something. We've got, ooh, this is a lot of screws. Oh boy, yay! Alright, I'm going to just start taking them out and hopefully I remember where they go. This is not recommended how I do this. Do not attempt this at home. I'm just kidding. But do keep track of your screws, because unlike me, I tend to forget things quite quickly. One here. I know, usually you take them out of the bottom panel first. I take them out of the top panel. Hopefully none of these are holding down the CPU heatsink. What is this? Is that part of the base, I presume? Possibly. Hopefully when I put this back together again, I remember where all the screws go. I tend to always forget a screw somewhere, and there's always a screw missing. It just happens. This has got a lot more screws than the other HP. Now what I try to do is I try to put the screws in very similar positions on the magnetic mat, so I can remember where they go. I try. Stuck. Up here. Under the bottom too? I don't know what that one's for yet. I also want to peer down some holes, just in case there's some more screws hiding in the holes. Let me try to best if possible. And get the most amount of screws in this position. Hey, these are little short screws, so I gotta pay attention to those. Stick them there. I've got one more here, and then I might want to look down the holes because this thing's got a lot of holes in it. This thing's got some scratching going on here. What's it? Someone's been here before me. Yeah, someone's been inside this computer before. I have a feeling. Okay, that's a big display connector. And this one goes right here. Okay, so it seems like it mirrors the sides. So let me look down any holes and see if I see any more screws, because sometimes that does happen. No, none here, none here. Not sure what this is for. I'll probably pull that in a minute. Okay, let me close it. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the feet, because that would just, it's a pain, because what happens to the feet is they end up getting torn up when I take them off. Okay, so remove these 3 screws here. Okay, these are little short stubby screws, may not use my magnetic mat. Battery bay. At least most laptop screws usually are interchangeable. Most branded laptops, so Dells, can usually be used with HPs and vice versa. But I do recommend you pay attention to the threading, because sometimes they do change it just ever so slightly to cause damage. One in here. Hope this doesn't do what my Latitude did, but the hinge wouldn't pop back in correctly. It's still jacked up. So this HP sports a 3rd generation Core i5 running at 2.4 gigahertz. It's got an Intel HD Graphics 4000 compared to my Latitude's 3000. So this computer is a little bit newer than my Latitude. My Latitude's from 2010 or 2011. So it's a little bit newer. Oh, I skipped a screw. Darn it. Take this one out first. It has, of course, it still has VGA. It's got an okay optical drive. It's not cheap, but it's not super high quality either. The other HP I have, that one has a much worse optical drive that I don't like. The screws go in rings. Very interesting. Yeah, I have a feeling someone's been in here before. Let me look at these screws. Are they scratched? I don't know how the person got in here, but I don't like that. Okay, these ones are tight down, so whoever's been in here, yeah, I don't think they've gotten that far. But yeah, these are locked down tight, so they're not probably gonna crack the plastic now. Yeah, I'm like, okay, no one's been in here before. So anyway, I need to start working on a schedule of when to upload videos. A lot of times I'm just uninspired, uninterested, I don't have motivation. I have a lot of issues with motivation and doing stuff. It kills you in life, I tell ya. If you're unmotivated, go see a therapist. I'm just kidding. I do have a therapist, it does help, but I'm still having issues with a lot of motivation problems where I just don't feel like it. Okay. I mean, I was supposed to do this video like a couple days ago, and yet I've been filling with this laptop mostly. Mostly it's been sitting next to my bed. Okay, did I get all the screws out? Okay, well this housing should just pop apart, and then if I got them all, I see. No there, none. It's out, that's gone. Gone. Is there one underneath the battery clip? No. Those have been removed. This one looks like there should be screws here, but there's not. I don't know about the wireless card, if that needs to be removed. If it does, I will remove it, if it prevents me from taking the motherboard out. But I think I should have gotten all of them. Okay, the feet here don't look like they hold anything down. In fact, there's rubber behind them, so I don't think they hold anything. So let me flip this guy over again. The second I open this, it's going to probably pop right apart. So my question is, does it open like the other one, where you just kind of pry it down here, or does it open with the plastic underneath? Sometimes these laptops have 2 points of entry. Sometimes there's like a bottom plate and a top frame. No, I think it opens right here, I think. So again, I use my nails mostly to prevent damage. I don't think that did me any good. Try again. Before I start using harsher tools, I also have a black stick too, I could do that. Problem is I tend to break these black sticks. I've actually been out lately. Okay, that's not getting me anywhere. Okay, go by the optical drive first and try these. Is there usually, no, go by the... Every laptop is unique and different, and each one has a different way of being opened. Yes, I should disconnect the cables, but first I need to see how this pops open. Otherwise I might not be able to get the cables back in, because sometimes cables still stay attached even though there's a hole for them. Why aren't you separating? Why me? Okay, it's gonna hurt if I get my nail in there. Okay, this isn't doing me any good. Okay, use a black stick. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for probably the optical drive first. No. Yep, there we go. I felt it. Okay. A little bit of separation already, so that's good. So now I just have to do is get my... Okay, it's not working. Fine, I'll keep using the black stick. Okay, pry out. Okay. Okay, there we go. So pry up, I guess. So we got the corner here a bit released. So let's get the... Use my nail again. This is by biting nails, even though I have a nasty habit of doing that, is usually bad because then you have nails to pry things when you need to. There we go. So I was doing it wrong. Sometimes repairs, you kind of learn as you go when you do repair. Every repair is unique. Unless it's an iPhone. Then they're all the same. Okay, this is, yep, popping right apart. Perfect. Black stick's not damaged either, so that's even better. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. A little bit feisty. Okay, so this one needs to be released. And the problem with these little ribbon cables is they're very, very hard to get back in. The one on the other HP laptop I have is very, very worn out because of this. Because I have to keep swapping parts so often. I treat laptops like desktops, so if I need, a hard drive, I'm gonna, take it apart. Okay, don't pry there, that's very weak plastic. I have to use my nails instead. Oh, is this one gonna come apart the same way like the other one where I thought it was attached? Uh-oh, that's not good. Originally when I tried to open the other HP, I thought it was a Chromebook, so I didn't take out the screws to the keyboard and I started trying to pry it. And I realized, oh, I need to disconnect the keyboard. I thought it was a Chromebook, because on campus, at my high school, I would repair Chromebooks at some point. I never told anybody, but I would. Usually it was a top panel repair because people rip off keys, because, you know, there's those types of people that just rip things apart. There we go. These clips can be a little difficult sometimes. I have a feeling there's a screw holding down over here. Okay, well, the whole top panel should pretty much be free now. Yeah, that's pretty much free. So now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and remove our cables. It should have a pair of, I don't know. I threw them in the bin. I didn't throw them out, I threw them in my unsorted bin. So I'll just use the ones from this one then. And the X-Acto blade in this kit is not from it. I just decided to put it in there because sometimes I need to cut stuff. Pull that cable out. Every time I try to pull these, I feel like I'm going to break it. Feels like that every time. There we go. Okay, those cables are free. I don't know if I need to free anything else up. Now, usually I just go to town on the back hinge because it usually just pops right off. It should just pop free in the back because I've already removed the screws, but I'll go ahead and see if I can't pop it off, I guess. Oh yeah, it'll pop off the same way. Okay. Add my black stick again. I'm going to try not to close the laptop all the way so I can get my black stick in here. Oh yeah, it's just gonna, yep, pops right up. Yep, okay. So that does answer my question. Okay, we got a little bit of resistance over here. What is going on? Why are you not popping off? Have a screw over here? We may have a screw underneath the foot, but I don't know. I do not like removing feet from these laptops because usually when you remove them, they do not go back on. I'm assuming this person did as they tried to open this computer and try to change the RAM that way, so let me see. What I try to do is split it apart just enough so I can see where a screw may be hiding, possibly. You know what? I'm just going to take the foot off. Now I'm not going to use a screwdriver, I'm just going to use a black stick. The other foot didn't have to be popped off. Let me take a look underneath this hinge real quick. Hopefully no parts go flying out, but I'm going to lift the right side. I'm doing this as I go, so don't attempt this. If you're doing this at the same time I am, don't do the same exact motions because you may damage your computer. So let me see, how did this side get freed up? What's holding it down? Okay, what do we got holding this side down? What is it? See a hole for the fan, so there's our intake. What I don't see though is where is it retained? Be very careful here. I'm trying to treat it like my iBook repair, where if you did one wrong move, you damaged the... Okay, so there is a screw underneath the feet. Okay, so I am going to have to, unfortunately, pry the feet off. Boo! But I do see a standoff where the feet are, so time to go to town on the feet, which I really don't like doing. I'm not a fan of doing this, because the feet generally never go back on correctly. This is usually a one-in-a-lifetime repair. Once you pry the feet off, you generally want to replace them, or you just generally just don't want to take them off in the first place. Kind of just get underneath the foot. You can see I'm already scratching the bottom, that's not good. Well, again, my repairs are sometimes damaging, but sometimes I need to be able to get the foot off. And a lot of times I'm just not in the mood to fight the damn thing. Come on. Sometimes you gotta do a little bit of damage. As long as it's not too noticeable. I mean, most people aren't gonna be looking at the bottom of their computer. The top, yes. And I bent my black stick. Fabulous. Don't make me get out the big guns. I'm gonna have to because I'm just bending the crap out of the tip. Okay, back to the clips again. Yep, there is a screw right underneath. That's what I was afraid of. Why do they do this? Okay, well, there is our screw here. Here's Mr. Screw number 1. He goes on this side because that is the foot, and this machine is rotated 190 degrees, so not 190, just 90 degrees. So I'm going to want to pry probably where the other standoff would be. I'm bending the crap out of my black stick, though. I'm not a fan of them hiding screws underneath feet. I mean, it looks nice, but it did cause me a lot, for my earlier machines I used to take apart, it did cause a lot of damage because of this. You wouldn't see the screws until it was too late. And at that point, I already pried up. Carnage ensued. It was not pretty. Again, this is no guide either. Yes, I am stabbing the foot. I do realize that. Okay, if I can just hold it long enough, I'll be able to get the... There we go. Take the adhesive with you. Thank you. So I can reuse it, hopefully. Okay, that's foot number 2. So it hopefully isn't too nicked up. There's our screws, little culprits. A lot of times, if there's enough screws around where the hinge is, I'll usually opt to not put the hinge screws back in, just because I will forget on the next time I have to open this where they are. Okay, so now when I open this whole panel should just pop right up and off. Yeah, there's way less resistance now. And now, disconnected our power button, right? Yes. There we go. Okay, there we go. There's our top panel. So what is rattling in here? Well, it's definitely not the top panel. I'm going to just stick it right here. So this is a contradiction of my last video of the other HP. This is good use of the space. You can see there's only a little bit of wasted space here, but that's in contrary to big freaking holes all over the place. So this is actually built really, really well. So I probably need to pull the whole board out in order to get to where the screws are, I assume, which is going to be a bummer. I'm probably going to remove the networking card at this point. That's going to really bite. What is this? Is this the... Okay, what's up with HP and using cables to hold stuff down? So that's for the optical drive. Close down our clips so I don't break anything. Here's our front. I'm guessing this is for the card reader over here. We've got our fan. The fan looks fairly clean. Doesn't look actually that dirty. This is a fairly big fan. We've got our nice, lovely single speaker here. So this is what the Beats audio setup looks like. It's not really anything too spectacular. So let's go ahead and work on probably removing our wireless module will be next. Yeah, I know you probably should have removed everything right there and then, but you know me. So I need to remove our cables. Okay. When you take this apart, the hinges are not really held down by anything. And here's another example of, I think, poor hinge design in a minute. So I'm going to want to be careful while I do this because there's now nothing holding the hinge down. So I don't want to put too much force, but I'm going to disconnect our antenna cables. Just kind of pry up on them. And then remove the 2 screws holding down our antenna, or our wireless module. To remember the orientation I took them out in. Doesn't really matter again. I guess the time what I would do when I was younger is I'd just throw all the screws in a pile. Worked most of the time. Ooh, almost lost that one. Until one day I ended up going through the LCD panel. Oh, there's tape. That tape's never going back in. Most of the time when there's tape in a computer, I remove it and I never put it back unless it's actually preventing a short. It's inconvenient. So there's our wireless module. Don't think I need to remove the clock battery, so we're probably good there. Okay, so now I need to figure out what screws are holding down our board here. So we have one screw here, and there. It's probably wondering this optical drive connection, I assume. Nope, that's good to disconnect it anyway. Probably a good idea to disconnect the power lug. These are not very nice when you unplug them either. They kind of fight you. I'm not a fan of these types of connectors. No. I bet my plastic again. Disconnect probably our display is probably good to be disconnected as well. Oof. Did I break anything? No. It's one big connector though. So the board is practically held together by nothing at this point. I don't know what's holding it down other than possibly connectors. Let me disconnect. Here are... This is probably for the card reader. That's out. So what would be holding down the other part at this point? I only see a single screw. It's a bit of a problem. I'm hoping the heatsink is not gonna need to be removed. Otherwise, I have to reapply thermal paste, and I'm not the best at doing that. I have just started learning how to do thermal paste on a computer. Yes, I've been taught the CPU is the thing you don't touch. So a lot of times I just leave the CPU alone. So I've been more adventurous lately and been actually messing with the CPU on computers now. But it's still shaky ground. Okay, we got our power connectors just ready to pop. Okay, what else is holding this guy down? Is it this screw in the corner? No. What else is holding the board down before I break something? I try to look for every single screw possible before I begin the pry process, because I can break stuff easily by not knowing where stuff is. Move this cable. Yep, now you're not out of the way. And not to puncture the speaker, that'd be bad. Don't tell me I need to remove the computer's display. Let me see here. Ooh. I don't see our screws other than the hinge screws. I may actually need to remove the display temporarily, which is not going to be fun. Because this board does not seem like it wants to pop up right now. Oh, there's another screw here. I didn't see that one. I tell you, these screws, they use different ones and they hide them. Found another screw. It's all the way in the lower left. If I had not seen that, I probably would have broken something. Any more hidden screws? The board should be much more free now. Any more? This one's actually held down fairly well just by cables and clips. So you open up the Ethernet port and pull it all the way out, so that frees up our Ethernet. I'm assuming this has to do with the housing, is that you just kind of separate it and it pops out, I'm assuming. I really don't know. Any more screws hiding around somewhere? Isn't there an arrow to the screw? There is an arrow, and I didn't even see it. Whoops. I'm assuming this heatsink's gonna have to go with me. It's gonna be a bummer. Can I push on this board over here and see what this pop out? Push on it lightly, not hard. Let's see, what other screws would I be missing? Is there a screw underneath this? Let me see something. Let me take the black stick. I'm going to do a little bit of a bend pull test. I'm going to see. No, there's no resistance. It's just the IO. Okay. So there's nothing holding that down. Okay, so the card reader's under there. Well, that's good. So what else is... Yeah, I'm going to have to take out every other screw I see. Again, follow the guide, take all the screws out. Pretty much remove every screw you see. Ooh. Is the wireless antenna going up this too? Yeah, probably. Man, just want to be able to figure out what was rattling in here. I don't really want to take everything out. Not liking how this... I wish they had a little bit of a separation just right here with a connector or something. That would have been nice. Because me pulling on this, I'm not too fond of doing. Usually stuff breaks. Anyway, I'm just going to pull this guy all the way out at this point. If I can. This isn't budging. Come on. Nope, the other way. Not in, out. There's a bit of screw hidden under somewhere. We have our Ethernet light. Not Ethernet, hard drive light. So, what else is holding this guy down? Would it be the Kensington lock? Aha! It's underneath the power connector. Couldn't see that. The problem is it's kind of stuck. Problem there. I don't want to damage the speaker too much, but I want to be able to push this out. There we go. That free, I can now disroute the power lug, and there's our screw. It's hidden the whole time in the corner. Darn you, HP, you're hiding your screws. So now, yep. So now this should just pop out completely cleanly. There's probably a few more cables I need to be wary of where they're connected, because they're probably connected, unless they're all in one location, which would be really nice. There's probably a few more underneath the board that I need to pay attention to, so let me flip it up. Oh, it looks like... Okay, so they're all one connection. Okay. Just means I need to simply rock the board a little bit back and forth till the heat pipe and stuff come loose. Yep, we got sticky tape. Okay, so the board is free. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Uh-oh, we have a Rispos chip. So that probably lines up with this pad. So we've got, what is this? Is this the Intel graphics, I'm assuming? Probably. Oh yeah, that's a good amount of dust in here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad, it's not great. This is essentially a regular board. This is a really beefy fan though. Wow. I feel like it's bigger than my latitude. Anyway, so now that we have this apart, the rattling is coming from this side, so I need to keep going. Hopefully I remember how this all goes back together again. Now I'm just going to stick this on the floor like a dummy. Most of the time nothing happens to my boards when I do this, so I've become carefree about that. But I need to continue pulling things out until I can figure out what is making that rattling noise. Oh, there's another piece. There we go. Another piece of something. I don't know what that is. Is that part of the fan? I might want to look at the fan blades to see if those are okay. So that's part probably... okay, so I see what our problem is. We have... Yep. Common, very, very common. In fact, expected. We have a busted hinge standoff. In fact, the second one over here is pretty much gone, too. So what happens is poor design. All of the force, if you can't see here, is placed on these standoffs. And as this hinge opens and closes, the standoffs take pretty much the whole brunt. And eventually they shear off. What they needed to do was design a hinge that goes down somewhat. So it like holds itself down here. Because it's not a very good design. Usually big flanges are pretty good. The only downside is the big flanges ones, the hinge usually breaks inside of the hinge itself very close. So what I get to do now, because I found the problem, is pretty much remove the rest of the broken standoffs or whatever's left. And just pretty much remove it from the machine. Because, yeah, that's another piece right there. Is the other side bad? So that just means this laptop's hinge is no longer held down by anything. So it's going to be like my netbook, where it's just pretty much just kind of held down by nothing. So So if I crank those laptops, yep, that's going up there. Okay. So this side's probably busted too, I assume. So both sides here are pretty much busted. So if I crank this whole hinge, if I push it right, we'll pretty much just pop it right off without me even pulling the screws out. Unless there's a third set of screws I don't know about. I only see 2 holding it down. So yeah, that's the problem, is poor hinge design. Oh, this one had probably coffee or something spilled in here. It was like liquid. Ugh. There's your base. Oh yeah, poor hinge design is what caused the failure of this. I'm not that shocked. I need to find the rest of the broken plastic too. So this is just common. My netbook had it, the HP is starting to have it happen, the Latitude has it happening, or not the Latitude, the Inspiron's having it happen in the screen itself. Laptop makers just don't know how to make hinges. Not very well. So I need to get the other hinge out, because I need to look at these standoffs as well. So I need to remove, probably the wireless antennas probably need to go, which I need to now remove tape, which is, it's attached to the base module. I'm not just able to take the base module with it. No, I can't, because the wire's going around and around. Yeah, that's not going to end well. So there's actually only 2 speakers. I thought there was 3. Only 2. It's actually fairly dusty. Yeah, poor hinge design. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to remove the power lug, or the power AC, or the DC, whatever thing. Oh, this is... Can I take the hinge with it? Yes. How many screws is holding this guy down, 2? Actually can't see around this wireless antenna. So I can somehow move it, which I can't. I do not like this derouting wireless antenna. And that's what exactly not to do. And there you go. So now we know our point of failure. So at least something held down, but yeah. See the point? A hinge failure right there. So now I'm going to have to deroute it. Damn it. This didn't cause too much damage. I know I pulled up the AC power thing, so that probably broke another standoff. Yep, pulled it with it. I'm not shocked. See, man, screwing it did nothing. Yeah, not shocking. So let me go ahead and push these guys out through their respective holes. This guy here is routed around a bit funky. So I'm going to have to now because the hinge is busted. So it's got a busted hinge. What do I tell you? Hinges are usually the first thing that go. So now you have to figure out how to prop this up briefly. At least I didn't take anything else out with it, so that's good. I don't puncture the speaker now. I was hoping it wasn't going to do that. Yeah, you live there. Anyway, I gotta figure out how to demount the speaker assembly briefly. Okay, we have rubber grommets holding that guy down. Is it just held down by 1 screw or multiple? I think it's just held down by 1. Two. It's not recommended what you do with your screws, but in the minute of crisis, while this hinge broke, I gotta get this out very, very quickly. Presume that one's also rubber mounted. So now this should be free. I can now take this speaker out temporarily while I deroute the assembly, and this is also attached. See what happens when things break. Careful with the speaker. It's only single-sided, so we're good there. Pull the cable up and out. The hinge back as best as I can temporarily. I'm going to lean it against my screen so I don't cause any more damage, hopefully. So I take this tape out. Okay. Are you kidding? Oh boy. I'm not a fan of these types of clips, I swear. Too much to do is you have to unroute the cables by pulling them out. They just kind of unroute themselves. That'll allow me to remove the hinge assembly without taking out the screen. So yeah, busted standoffs. You can see right here the carnage. So some of it was by my fault, but most of it was already going to happen anyway. So I'm just going to do is clear out the debris of broken standoffs and just kind of put it back together. See, this is what happens. They just completely shear right off. So yeah, there's not much I can do other than just kind of put it back together, clear out the rest of the debris, and hopefully it'll hold itself together just fine. Big piece of plastic there. So yeah, there's all our rattling. So this is all pretty much going on its own. So I probably didn't even cause it. It probably just happened on its own. Okay, that's held down securely. Is this guy going? It's already broken. But yeah, poor standoff design is usually the fate of pretty much all these things. Is usually what kills them. So I'm just going to stick this down here temporarily while I clear out the rest of the carnage. I'm going to probably put the speaker back too while I deal with that. So let me grab the speaker screw. Or get it stuck in a crevice. Find the rest of the debris. So right here. See how that just happened. So I will say it was partially me, but I'm going to also say it was partially due to the hinge already pretty much going on its way out. So I need to get this cable back in. Rerouting cables is not my favorite thing to do. They're usually a pain, and I usually just end up breaking them. I do have another MacBook I have to make a video of that won't die. It's like my netbook. I was actually trying to do possibly what like the 8-bit guy does and do a retro bright on it, but for some reason I broke a bunch of cables. They just kind of sheared off just due to kind of inexperience. So it was my fault. But is it not popping? Why are you not going in? What's going on here? Oh, is this metal? I don't think it is metal, but could be. Nope, broke it. Okay, so tell ya, sometimes when you think something's plastic, it breaks. Oh well, no big deal. This is in as flush as can go. Now I don't know. Can I get this mounted without the hinge in, or do I need the hinge in to mount this? I need to see how things line up. Otherwise, I need to deroute the whole speaker now. Because the one clip already broke, unrouting the rest of this should be fairly easy, because it just simply pops right out like that. So yeah, they use really, really brittle plastic. That's what I've learned. So we have our Ethernet cover. Let me take a look at the standoff. How is this one faring? Any better? They use really cheap standoffs. Not very good. So you got a lot of dust here. So pretty much both hinges pretty much went. That's just, I expected that. Pretty much all my laptops except for my MacBooks have hinge failure. See, because the MacBook, surprisingly the polycarbonate ones, the ones that are plastic, actually have a cast alloy mid-frame. I call them mid-frames, as in it's like a sandwich. So you have your bottom pan, your top pan, and then you have like the mid-frame, like where everything is pretty much held together. This one doesn't really have a mid-frame, to say the least. I mean, the mid-frame is probably the keyboard pan, but anyway, it is kind of sad to see all these standoffs be broken. This plastic is not very good. So this one's probably going to end up having the same fate of loose and weak plastic. Here's another piece. I'm just going to see. Is that another piece of standoff? Did I fix all the rattling, though? That's my one goal in life, was to fix the rattling. So I'm going to hold the speaker down temporarily. Actually, I'm going to try to line it up first. I'm going to shake it. There's our piece. Yep, pieces of plastic. You can see all this bit of standoff right here. Completely shredded. So, yeah. Poor hinge design is what causes this. Not very smart. They need to figure out how to make the hinges better. So this is pretty much the fate of most laptops. I've seen on Reddit people use bolts. I'm just not going to bother with that. This is fairly dirty. Oh, here's another bit of standoff here that's about ready to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and just remove it. It's already ready to go anyway, so I'm just going to remove that. Oh, good. So not only is the pass-through standoff broken for the foot. Oh, man. This couldn't get any worse, could it? I need to see how rigid the rest of the plastic is, or if I should just completely flatten the standoffs at this point. And a piece right there. Yeah. I do know some of them, like the plus standoffs, those are usually okay. But this plastic just is not intended to be used for standoffs. They don't know how to design these. I mean, even if they use like little bit of plastic sticking out to hold it up, it just doesn't really work. Yeah, this is, oh yeah, there goes that one. So there's another chunk. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove the rest of this broken plastic. I heard it. It's now stuck somewhere, isn't it? I don't want to hear it rattle. There are bits of plastic of standoffs. So yeah, so I'm going to keep going at it until I've removed all pieces that are possibly broken. I don't know what that was. Is this also completely carnaged? As long as the hinge covers are fine, I'm fine leaving those. But these are completely just destroyed. Here's another chunk. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. It's pretty much done. So if I see cracks, I usually just remove them entirely, just because they're already bad as is. And they're just going to break off anyway and make more noise. So that's gone. This guy's going to break here soon anyway, probably. No, that one's attached. How bad is this one? I can see the molding process where they try to what do you call it? Hold it down, but it just doesn't work. It's not a very good design. Just see what. Something looks like it has cracks. I mean, even out, it cracks all the way down to where the plastic sticks up, pretty much. So I'm just flattening whatever pieces of plastic are left and just removing whatever is broken. This one doesn't look too bad. This is fairly dirty though. This is actually kind of gross. Try to remove some of the dirt. So I'm just kind of poking, kind of like what your dentist does with your teeth to see if they're loose. I'm not intentionally trying to break them, but I am somewhat at the same time trying to see how much force they'll take. Usually they'll break very easily if you put too much force. So this guy's pretty much just broken. Okay, that guy's actually not going anywhere, so that one's probably okay. How long is the video already? An hour long. I'm already an hour into this, so I'm going to probably cut it into 2 parts, I guess. Or just cut them together with Movie Maker or something. I'm not very good at video editing, but I probably will edit some stuff, possibly. So yeah, blown standoffs. So that's the problem. I don't know how to make standoffs, I swear. Oh boy. The construction otherwise is okay. It's not the best. These, I assume, probably will all break. All these little plastic bits. Generally what I do if I want to take the laptop completely apart, plastic and all, is I will break each and every single one of them so I can separate the plastic completely. But I'm not here to do that right now. So yeah, I get a feeling the next few standoffs are going to go are the ones that stick up, probably. And then finally the low-level ones will probably all go next. Yeah, that is such a shame, though. I mean, come on. There's also probably standoffs in the keyboard tray I might want to look at as well, because those are probably all going to go as well. So let me take a look at this, inspect it. This one's okay. It doesn't look blown. These ones are fine. These ones are covered by aluminum, so I don't suspect too much. This one in the corner's fine. The one over here is pretty much reinforced by metal. The one here is okay. These ones here, this one here looks... Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine for right now. We have our speaker covers. The one over here is very tiny. I don't like that. We have our power button. Ribbon cable for the power button. Got a trackpad assembly. I'm not a fan of these trackpads. This one's fine. It's got a cover over it. So if it blows up, at least the metal will be holding it down, which is, of course, held down by all of this. So I'm not too concerned, because the metal will still, as long as it's tight enough, the metal will just hold it in place. It'll make removing the plastic harder, but... So, yeah. This is actually covered. Why is that? So this hole does nothing for the fan. So where does it get the air from if it's a plastic cover? I thought that was an air hole for the fan. So HP is probably theoretically actually frying their computer. It does have something called cool sense, which is supposed to drop the temperature of the machine when it's in motion, like when it's on your lap, because it's not stationary. But I still consider that kind of dumb. Anyway, I was trying to figure out why this paneling here looks like it's sticking up, but I don't think it is. No, it's held down by clips, so it's not going anywhere. Yeah, no, that's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's to be expected. Hinges blow up on me. So I'm just trying to find any more standoff that's about ready to go and remove the rest of the remains. The rest of the body. This one looks like it's gonna probably shatter soon, so I might want to keep an eye on that one. The one that's sticking up tall, the very tall ones usually go first, and then the more shorter, thicker ones go, and then finally the stubby ones. This one looks like it's almost completely broken through. Let me see, how bad is this guy? It's still got some bit left, not much. Completely obliterated though, just completely destroyed. Ones over here, I have a feeling they don't have any force or tension, so they should be fine. It's the ones that take all the force and tension, which is usually down in the corners, where you put your palms. Your palms do put pressure on them at some point. When you're carrying it, this is why you're supposed to carry a laptop by the center, not by the edge, because that usually, again, puts stress everywhere. You gotta think about the plastic and how it's gonna form. If they had used an alloy mid-frame of some sorts, it would have been fine. But because they didn't, the plastic wore out. I mean, do you see MacBooks having failed hinges yet? No, because it's held down pretty much by the aluminum alloy of some sort. The other thing that will fail probably is the hinge screws themselves, or the hinges themselves will just snap. Where the hinge or the spring is, where it sticks out, probably will break there closest to the spring. So that is kind of a shame. Let me hold the speaker down and do a couple more shakes to make sure I get the rest of the remains out. Because it was actually getting into the fan. Sounds silent now, so that's good. So, blown hinge. What else do I expect? Nothing. Now I gotta get the hinge back in. So, because this has blown up on me, these screws are pretty much just kind of held in. This one's got some more plastic around it. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. Let me clean up the display hinge as well. So as you can see, when the standoffs break, it just takes the brass inserts with them. This one here, the power thing is no longer held in place, so that's why that was loose. So we've got that problem. So let's see here. Where's the rest of the plastic that's sticking out? There's more plastic. Take that out. Find all the rest of the remnants. A little bit there. There's some around this guy. Let me get this off. I mean, if it's broken, you don't want plastic in there because it's just going to rattle and be annoying. See, our hinge is no longer at all secure whatsoever. So there's nothing holding down our hinge. So now, the next standoffs that will probably be taking the force now will be, once those are compromised, the next ones that will be taking it are probably the ones holding down the speaker will probably be next. And the one here, and probably the case ones will probably also be taking the force. And then the one over here for holding down the speaker, as well as the ones holding down the boards. The next tall ones will probably all be taking the force, as well as the board will be taking the brunt. At this point, I don't feel like putting bolts to the whole case. I could use epoxy, but I don't feel like dealing with that either, because I'd have to epoxy it shut. So at this point, usually this isn't going to be my main laptop anyway, so it says replace with spare. So it says replace with spare like literally everywhere. Does the speaker say that too, I'm guessing? No. 12.5 of 19. So you got a little bit of plastic here. So, yeah, that's not too shocking. So, the brunt of the force will be taken by the next closest standoffs next, and then when those fail, it'll be the next ones, and eventually the whole case is just going to go. This will, of course, be over probably the time period of years. Unless you keep opening and closing the display every 5 minutes like I do, which will probably wear it out even more. I have to reroute all these cables. I'll just take the speaker out for right now. So now most of the plastic hopefully been removed. Now I'm just going to hear the rattling of the screws, which is fine. I don't really care too much about that. Did I get all the plastic? Oops. Okay. So now to line it back up, drop it in place, with whatever standoffs are left, which is not very much. So yeah. So the next standoff that'll be taking it will be this one here. It'll be the speaker standoff, as well as the one below it holding down. Oh, the top case standoff will be taking it, as well as the ones down here. So those will be the next ones that take the most force. So it is sad, but you know, that's just how laptops fail. If they had designed more of robust hinge that went down into the machine a little bit more, a bit stronger metal, this wouldn't be a problem. But because, you know, they got to cheap out somewhere, they cheap out usually on the hinge. I mean, most of the time, most of the price, I think, for the computer itself, the computer would probably be very cheap. It's the operating system. Because I think they pay full price. I think. I might be wrong. I probably am. Are the screw holes lined up? Okay, they're lined up now. So how is this routed anyway? I think the wireless antenna was below the speaker. Should be a grout hole for that one, or a route hole as it's called. Yeah, that would have been routed that way. So the next brunt force will be the speaker, will be the next thing to probably go. It's a shame to see that finally break. See all the carnage, all the broken plastic. That is a lot of broken plastic. Oops, not lined up with the hole. Sometimes when I can't see the hole, I will blindly screw in until I find it. Okay, let me see, where's our screw hole? It's all the way in the corner. Push the speaker over a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, that's not working. Try again. Sometimes I do break the rule of screw it down afterwards. Anyway. As in, oh, no. You usually follow the rule when you're screwing into plastic, but this is metal inserts, but you're supposed to back up first before you screw it down so that you... So what it does is you hear that click, it's now dropped into the insert. Don't want to go overkill on this. This is actually rubber holding this down. So now all the force holding this together will be the speaker next. So then I have to now prop this up. So when this is all back together again, it'll look like it's fine, but in reality all the force will be held down by something else. So busted hinges, I'm not terribly shocked. I'm surprised it actually held itself up with nothing there. There we go. Put that through. To route our speaker cable so that it's routed correctly. So unfortunately, because my laptop's or my monitor stand is a little bit tall, just let the RAM go. I have to just kind of prop it on the bottom just to kind of get it from falling off. Ah, you dumb thing! You popped out again. I actually have no memory of how that went in. I'll figure that out. Anyway, watch where I'm stepping. Pop this cable back into place. Just have to kind of get it past the clip here.
This is why I hate antenna cables so much. Anyway. Alright, nope. Let's start with the white cable, right? Let's route that one first. To get past the clip, reroute it back in. Let's route spot. Pull this one back out. Now go ahead and route the black cable next. Hopefully this doesn't put too much tension on the cables. I don't think it should, but it could. So what I'm concerned about is with the cable now routed, how much tension is going to be placed on it. So yeah, this one just goes to the bottom, it'll route itself. The white one, however, I need to reroute back in. So a route point here, and a route point there. I'll deal with that in a minute. Make sure it is pushed in all the way though. So the cable now rerouted back the way it goes. Am I missing a standoff screw? No, because it's broken, so there's nothing holding that down. So we have a bunch of carnage here. We can see all the broken standoff. You can see that's a lot of plastic. Simply a little bit of plastic can lead to a lot. Because probably one standoff went and then they all followed suit. So they all took after. The next thing to do now is check the board for any damage. I don't think there is any, but it's probably good to clean this. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's a lot of dust. Okay, so let me take care of this real quick. I'm just going to kind of tweezer it off. It's just near the center. It's not too bad. But I also may want to look at the Famford chip blades. So I may want to check the I would remove the fan, however, it's like a sealed unit, and I'd rather not mess with that. I also could replace the thermal paste as well and drop the thermals, but I'm not going to bother with that either for right now. Maybe another time. But yeah, it's got dedicated GPU, it's got 32 megs dedicated, so it's not very much. It says replace with HP spare. Every single one does. So we got our networking standoffs here, so it's actually not too bad. Got our USB and Ethernet on this side, then we've got our VGA, HDMI, 2 USBs, and audio in and out, and then memory card reader. So hopefully the fan's not damaged or anything. I don't think it will be, but let's hope for the best. Should have gotten most of the dust out. Yeah, it says replace with HP spare. Literally everything says replace with HP spare on it. Like every single component. It's kind of annoying. Okay, not to touch the daughter chip, or in this case the video chip probably. Alright, let's see if I can drop this guy back in again. This is a very awkward board. I've had more awkward than this, but still not very comfortable in my hand. So you reroute, make sure the video cable's routed, and drop it into place. It should just line right up. There it goes. In theory, there it goes. Okay, what's preventing me from dropping you? Should just drop it right down. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Nothing was, it was just stuck. Okay, so drop that in place. I'm going to deal with that in a minute. Make sure all the cables are out of the way. Grab the speaker cable. And then grab the optical drive power or data cable as well. So now the brunt of the force will be taken by the speaker and the is it the oop, oop, oop. Okay, don't move, do not move. So yeah, pretty much it's going to act like my netbook the same exact way, where pretty much the board is the only thing holding this together. So I'm going to go ahead and screw it down. So yeah, So you can see it's holding down right now because that one screw over here is holding it all down in place. So that's going to probably fail sometime in the future, and probably soon. Let me find the rest of the screws and put them all back in, back where they belong, so we have somewhat of some rigidity holding this thing down, so it doesn't immediately fall apart, because that'd be bad. Don't over-tighten. I have had issues where I over-tighten screws, and that's just kind of a force of habit, because I want them to not go anywhere, but it's also probably bad for the board. Okay, so those are in. So this hinge, it is attached, but it is using a lot of force on this adapter. So over time, I will probably expect that to probably go. So I'm going to reconnect the video cable. Nope, that didn't go in. Sometimes the lighting these things can be such a pain. I do dislike these connectors. Oh, it feels like I'm going to break it. Anyway, I think it's in. Well, if the video doesn't work, I'll know why. So what are those two screws I pulled? Those are from the hinge, right? No, that's from the network card. So since I cannot put this back together until I at least have more structural support installed, I need to put this together pretty much a majority of the way. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart. That is expected, though. So I need to get most of the hop case back on. After I do that, it should be structurally stable enough to pop it pretty much back together again. So I just need to adjust this, get this lined up. There we go, and that's in. Yeah, busted hinge. I'm not shocked. Not at all shocked at all. Sucks, but bound to happen. A piece of plastic, a broken stand-up part. So that should be connected. This should be back in. It doesn't feel like it is, but it should be. I'm gonna stop pushing it and just, I hope it's in. So that should be all the screws. I need to pop that back in. So I need to put the top case back on immediately. Just to, oh, wait, hold on. I'm forgetting something. I almost had people point that out, and I remember. Connect our speaker connector. Anything else that I may have forgotten? Because I really don't want to pop this open again. Other than the network, I'll deal with that in a minute. I think I should have gotten it all. The tape, again, I'm not really going to bother with. I don't see a point. I mean, it's just holding down cables from getting possibly chafed. But again, it really doesn't matter. I don't know why they put tape in. Completely broken standoff. Okay. So now, with most of this back in, I'm going to go ahead and pop the top case back on. I don't know how this fan gets air if there's no, ooh, that fan spins really well. If there's no holes. So I'm assuming, because of this, because the holes are blocked, I'm assuming it gets air from probably underneath. So make sure there's nothing sticking up, nothing that's going to get caught. This back into place. I'm just going to kind of push it in so it holds it down. Because as of right now, there's literally nothing holding this down. Just some plastic. Yeah, I love the sound of snapping plastic. Means it's doing its job. Again, the hinge isn't doing anything. There we go. Nothing else broke, right? No, it's all snapping together fine. So but this part here, don't know what's going on with this guy. Come on. Come on, don't fight me. There it goes. There's one. There should be another one over here. Yeah, because the hinge is jacked. Ooh, yeah, that does not feel good.
This is all going to be screwed up pretty much till the end of time. Because there's nothing holding it down. I'm going to try my best to get it back together again. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's back in. So now the hinge is now successfully back in, but it has sunken considerably. So as you can see, pretty much all the force now is going to be put on that board in this corner. So right now it's holding itself together by the case and components. So that's pretty much what's holding it together still. I'm not sure what these are for. I don't know, but I gotta put all the screws back. Foo. I'm going to pop back in the network card while I'm sitting here. So did it pop the housing back apart again? No, not really. Did, however, pop it apart in the back, so I'm going to pop that on. So it is still held together. It's not very well, but it is in. And pop in our wireless card again. It's just an Intel card, it's generic. It's nothing too special. I don't think the laptop should notice that it's been taken apart. The screws shouldn't matter what order they went in because they're identical. It does have room for, I think, a WLAN card. So that is something to keep in mind if you want that. So there should be room for WLAN. So now I'm going to reconnect my cables. Goes over, is it that one here? This one was over here. Yeah, they're numbered 1 and 2. So this one goes here. And then this one, I guess, I don't know how the hell that's going to connect. Why don't they switch? That doesn't make any, whatever, sense, but I don't know why they're not the other way around, but whatever. Antenna cables are known to break. If you pinch them too much, they will actually break. So you have to be careful about how you do it. I have broken several. They're fragile. Oh no, a lot of people showed up. I don't know if it's going to matter really if... I see B and A. I'm going to switch them, I think. I don't think it'll matter. Because plugging in that one is not really ideal. This one should fit, it should fit that way. I don't think it should matter. If it messes with the antenna signal, I'll swap them again. Unless otherwise noted. But I'm just going to pop them in this way because it's not... Yeah, maybe... Yeah, what the hell? So it's not going in as expected. I think I have too much cable. Is it pushing some in, maybe? Well, there was a loop. I'm actually curious, because I installed in our hallway computer. I got it to work again. I pretty much just took everything off the board and pretty much left it bare bones. One drive, one GPU, one motherboard plug, and a power plug, instead of the dual we had. Okay, why can't I get you back in? And now it seems to have not shut off again, so I don't know what was going on with that. It's an AS Rock 9X series, or 9 Extreme. I did read online it has issues with power. So, we are on the market for a new motherboard at some point. I keep pinching this up, this cable doesn't break. That would suck. Okay, where are you going in? Get in, please. Definitely this is folded somewhere. Yeah, I never can remember every single detail when I repair something. Sometimes I do forget some stuff. Okay, well it's in now. Just try to... Probably cringing at the way I'm doing this, but... Voila, it's in. Good enough. Shouldn't be any screws that needed to hold this down, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop this on and call that done. So I'm just going to close this panel up so I can be done looking at it. So that's back in. So now, our foot stuck to the bottom. So now with the hinges and all the carnage removed, it's going to be less stable, but I can't really do too much about that. That's just, it happens.
So let me go ahead and pop in. I'm going to put in all the screws, or at least the 2 main ones I forgot about earlier, and put those back in for right now. I should at least hold down some of the housing. A lot of times the very big tall screws are what hold down most of the housing anyway. So these take the most of the force of the machine and hold it together. I'm not liking that this is turning still. So I'm going to pop the feet back on. I'm not planning to remove these anytime soon, because they will not pop back off again. Not nicely. Because this adhesive here is a bit lumpy, this is probably going to be a screwed up foot now, but nothing I can do. Just hope it goes back on nice enough. That's why my other HP is missing the feet, because I kept taking them off so often. They eventually just broke. It's actually holding down fairly well, so that screw wasn't even in all the way. Yeah, so that's holding down. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that, yeah. I'll take that. Okay, so that was the bottom. This is where these guys go. Okay. Just like I just had my screwdriver. Oh, damn it. I spoke too soon. It popped out. Again, this laptop will be taking pretty much the brunt. There's not much I can do about it. Is there a screw over here? Put the screws back that I just took out and figure out what the heck I'm doing wrong. How many screws are here? 1, 2. Here. No, I'm having a bit of a memory loss at the moment. Can't remember how the screws went. Okay, well that fixed that hinge at least. And it no longer rattles, so that's good. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ones in the bottom that I can find. A moment. Remember where I pulled these screws from, because I can't remember at the moment. I do forget things, it happens. Okay, that's in. Now these little short ones. So those are back in. So those are where those belong. So where's the little short stubby screws go then? These ones here go where the optical drive are. So these are the optical drive screws. Yeah, a lot of times I can't remember where things go. I have the best memory in the world, but I can't remember some things. Like, I don't remember where this goes. I'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so with that in, we have our bottom screws here. These should be in the corners. We're not planning on taking this apart again anytime soon, so hopefully nothing else breaks in the process, and hopefully the internet still works. Otherwise I gotta fix this. I will have to probably change the wireless card at some point. It is a 2G wireless card, even though it's 2 years newer than my Latitude, which has a 5G capable card, but whatever. Just happens. So that, let's get this back together again. We have the screw here. We have the screw underneath here. Not too much damage by the feet, it's not terribly noticeable. Usually if I'm in front of someone's laptop, I try not to damage it too much. If I do, I try to make it very unnoticeable. I don't damage it on purpose, it just happens. These screws are for the keyboard. That one's for the other one's for the keyboard as well. Okay, there we go. So those are back in. Well, the hinge no longer has a lot of play, so that's good. So it's holding down fairly well by other stuff. So other things are holding it down. Just how it works. So now I gotta get these screws back in. So I gotta remember where these went. Just screw here. That's a pass-through though, I think, right? Yeah, look for the holes. If there's a, if you can see light through it, it's a pass-through. If you can't, then it's not a pass-through. I'm trying to remember where that other one went. I think it went... I'm not very good at this. I'm very stupid sometimes. So what? Is that a pass-through? Oh, that was a standoff, wasn't it? So this screw is no longer going in then. Yeah, that was a standoff. So this screw is pretty much toast. So, that explains my confusion. I forgot that standoff had broke. Well, just what happens, they break. When they break, they're pretty much done. There's not much you can do. The short screws go in the upper corners here. Oops. Not all aligned. So yeah, not too terribly shocked that those broke. Thought that would fix the power button where it was more aligned, but whatever. Almost done. So a few more ribbon cables to reconnect, and we're pretty much finished. This is the part I hate doing, is reconnecting these cables because they are such a pain. You have to kind of really pull them back. Flip this guy up, and put my tweezer in it and grab it really, really tight. At some point these clips eventually just wear out and they don't hold very well. There we go. So that's back in, so now we just have our keyboard. Oh man. We have our keyboard screws, and then we have the one optical drive screw. Here, I might as well give this thing a bit of a shaking. Yeah, that's one way to get dust and dirt out. Does hurt your fingers. But it gets all the crud out. I like this one because it has a reinforced plastic frame, which is nice. Anyway, go and reconnect our keyboard cable. I'll do a final test, make sure everything's working, because sometimes I do forget to reconnect the keyboard cable or some other cable that I forgot. It does happen. Get it in, that'd be nice. Is that in? I think so. If not, I'll find out very quickly. I like the sound of this keyboard though, it's very, very nice. It's kind of gross. Very, very nice keyboard. Anyway, I'm going to put down the last screws. So that fixes the hinge problem now. So at least that's fixed too, to some degree. Albeit it is more damaged, but it is better fixed than how it was before. So in turn, I did fix the problem, but I found more problem. That'll have to be fixed at another time. Tighten this keyboard down. So this machine wasn't as involved as my Latitude. I'd say it's way more than the HP. It's the other HP, but it's not as bad as the Latitude. And the netbook is just kind of, I'm so used to it, I know how it works. Okay, now pop back in pretty much all our components and stuff. The optical drive needs to be put back at this point. The unscrew that holds that down. The rest of this is actually a screwless design. I don't know the optical drive having that long of a screw. Is it pushing up on something? I'll find out very, very quickly if it is. No. No, it's fine. Okay. Pop in our RAM. So I did try to use this RAM in my MacBook. Unfortunately, it did not work, which is a bummer. My MacBook, my aluminum one, has 8 gig. No, not 8 gigs. I was going to say it has 8 gigs, but it doesn't. I get very, very confused by the 2x2 or 2x4 it says, so I thought it was 2 4s. It's really 2 2s. Tell you, it gets me every time. Pop in our hard drive. Again, I'm not a fan of these cables, so you have to, what you're supposed to do is clip it in first. Hopefully I connected the video right, otherwise I'm not going to get in the picture. Okay, so I have to route the cable. This is not, I don't like this at all. It's just something that's going to become a hassle every time you pull up the drive out. It just gets in the way. I'll line this up. I also do not like this caddy. It's got metal in the inside edges and it bends very, very easily. It is not a caddy I recommend. I'd rather them just keep the SATA connector on the board and have possibly a metal one with rubber grommets. That would have worked just fine. But the way they did it, I'm not a fan. Pop in our 2 screws. Be like almost a 2-hour repair. Not too bad. I actually fixed that fairly quick. It only took me an hour. I'm pretty good at this. Alrighty. Oh man, did I just drop something down in there? Hope not. And then there's simply this panel here, just kind of just push it down and click it in place. I like that. That is a really nice design right there. Is I do praise HP for having, you have the battery latch, and if you do it further, it releases this panel. Very, very nice. If they did it for this one, if you had maybe a little bit longer, or if you push down or something to pop this one off, that would have been good too. But what can you do? Now, where did I put the battery? Here it is. This is also the original battery. It holds a full charge, surprisingly. It is from 2012, so it is original. 2012 of 5. So it is original. Hopefully I put everything back together and we'll see. Does it turn back on now? Oh, and yeah, I can probably take these stickers off since I'm done with these. I don't even know what to do with that. I'm just going to throw it up there for right now and go ahead and remove this Apple sticker. I have no use for stickers on these. I keep the stickers on my personal laptop, but most of the time you can see the dirt and everything that got to it. I do have a cloth in here, I think. It's a little bit dirty. Whoops. That's wipes for my glasses. Yeah, it does the job. So I can't get this Apple sticker off without completely destroying it, which I doubt I can. I use my tweezers here. I'm just kind of... Nope, no, not have enough grip. That's a damn shame. You go for the tip then. So apparently these car window stickers are designed to not easily come off. Wow. That is on there. Oh, wow. Just I'm using my nails. Okay, there it goes. Okay, I got grip, got grip. Pull slowly. And what I'm hoping is it doesn't tear. It tore. I jinxed myself. This is usually where an X-Acto blade would probably come in handy. No, I'm not a fan of stickers like these. What I usually do, if I want a sticker to be removable, is I make a pull tab, or I put it on Scotch tape and I make a pull tab that way for underneath. Slowly so it doesn't tear. So these are like these are window stickers, I realize that, but damn, Apple. I do have retro ones too. They're not really worth anything though. I thought they were. They're apparently common. Whew, this is on there. Ooh, wow, these are tight. Wow, look at that. Oh yeah, that's a good scuff right there. I seen that was there to hide a scuff. Not too bad. That's not the adhesive. That was the adhesive, wasn't it? Fridge. Slow and steady then. So now I can make it dirty and I can see where it is. A little bit of rubbing from this cloth will take great care of it very, very quickly. It does require a little bit of wet though, a little bit of water. Yeah, I don't have water on me, I'm just kind of using saliva. You know, saliva works pretty well. It's gross, but you know, if you get it really clean, it should be safe. Most of the adhesive is gone. I'm not even just pitch this. I have a trash can in my cabinet, so the cat can't get to it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some water here. In fact, my water bottle will do just fine. Sometimes I do use my water bottle. What we do is just kind of spread it around. As long as you're careful with water on electronics, it'll be perfectly safe. There's no openings, no water anywhere near an opening. Just kind of massaging it. I just clean it the way it did. How dare I? This will clean up though very nicely. I haven't cleaned this cloth either. This is used for dusting mostly. But it's a little bit dirty. Look at that, clean. Not bad. Look at that. That's actually a pretty good design. I thought there was gonna be a big Beats logo. That's why I pulled off the Uber sticker. There's a nice gouge right here though. Could you stop going to sleep? It's actually not half bad. Yep, there we go. Clean. So let's see, does it still work? Does it still turn on? Do I have picture? We have image. Alrighty, so it is still working. We got boot. I'd say, what a success. It is still working, and I did fix the hinge, so now it no longer makes that annoying snap noise, because now it's pretty much held down. So this is a repair of the HP Pavilion dv4 busted hinge, or in this case, just removing all of the broken plastic and putting it back together. This is how I repair most hinges, is I just take the carnage out and I put it back. Because I don't really feel like ordering a new assembly and whatnot. I don't have money. So I do it the way I can that usually lasts. I don't remember if I shut this thing down or if it went into hibernate mode. I don't remember. I think it went into hibernate mode. So I'm not sure where the fan gets the air from. So that is all now repaired. And now I can begin the review process of this computer, I guess. I imaged it essentially with everything identical so I can compare games and whatnot. I only have up to Skyrim. I don't have anything newer other than Grand Theft Auto 4. Again, money. But you can see it is running out batteries. I have half a charge. Anyway, this concludes this repair of the HP dv4.